Hey, happy, beautiful, amazing day. Dr. Bob Rakowski here out of Houston, Texas. Today, I received a question about Huntington's chorea, and that can be a very devastating diagnosis, but we're here to offer some hope and some solutions. So a little background on me. I've been in clinical practice now over 30 years. And I've seen all ends of the spectrum, some of the best athletes in the history of the planet and people that medicine gave up on that were sent home to die. Thankfully, many of them are alive decades later. I've also taught seminars all over the world on 6 different continents on natural medicine and lifestyle medicine. So what is Huntington's? Well, it's a rare inherited, so it's genetic disease that causes progressive breakdown of the nerve cells of the brain. Now, here's one thing I want to say about Huntington's, and notice what it says. After being diagnosed, someone may live for only 10 years, or they may live up to 30 years. Well, why don't we even extend that longer? Why would we make 30 years a cutoff? Because we're learning more about how people can live better longer. So it is genetic, it's inherited, but there's something called epigenetics above the genes, which really is responsible for at least 90 to 95% of our overall wellness. And I've taught lifestyle medicine for years. I call them the Magnificent Seven. You've got to eat right, drink right, think right, move right, sleep right, poop right, talk right every day. And I have YouTube summaries of all of these wonderful things. If we start out with identical twins, we think they turn out to be mostly identical. That's actually Gwyneth Paltrow as she is, and there she was in a fat suit in the movie Shallow Hal. But reality is we have seen twins, real live twins that were that different. So they had identical genes, but what happened? Well, one made much better choices for their genes and the other choices that weren't very good and moved them in the wrong direction. If we talk about cancer being a disease of the genes that's not inherited, the best of the best are going to tell you that environment is, guess what, 90 to 95% the determining factor of cancer. Genes, again, 5 to 10%. And I think that's for most things, and definitely epigenetics apply to Huntington's. So a few different references. Notice what it says: activating mitochondrial regulator is a therapeutic strategy for Huntington's disease. Notice also that it said we found that Ganodermalicidum was quite good at activating this and therefore good for Huntington's. Another reference that talks about medicinal mushrooms and Ganodermalicidum specifically being good for Huntington's, and the evidence is beginning to accumulate. If we were to look at Huntington's and mitochondria overall, over 1,000 different published medical studies over the last nearly 50 years, and those numbers are ever increasing. So this is a pretty technical picture. It's of the mitochondrial electron transport chain. That's how human beings make 94.4% of human energy. And understand there's over 20 steps in the electron transport chain, and each step requires a nutrient. Many of those are called out in this chart. So comprehensive nutrition is important, but keep in mind all of the Magnificent Seven are important. You do want to eat right, drink right, think right, move right, sleep right, poop right, talk right every day to optimize your mitochondria. If we look at Ganoderma and mitochondrial specifically, over, exactly 60 PubMed references as of today. So you can get a lot more efficient with mitochondria and energy with Ganoderma on board. A neuro study talks about how it can help with Parkinson's, making that better by improving mitochondrial function. It's also known to protect the brain and the brain mitochondria from toxic damage, and that's highly significant. And it's good for electron transport throughout the entire body. So brain and body energy gets better with mitochondria. And another reference as well. And again, it recovered decreased mitochondrial function after the mitochondria were either injured or intoxicated. So what is Ganodermalicidum? The top superfood on the planet. Medicinal mushrooms are a $50 billion a year market. Ganodermalicidum estimated at $2.5 billion a year US alone. So guess what? There's a whole range of competitors. If you buy something on the internet, you're probably going to get something like this grown in a plastic bag. Better than nothing, but certainly not as good as the best of the best, which has all of these quality certifications. And by the way, I'm an investor in the company, so full disclosure there. I'm a huge fan of Ganoderma. I'm a huge fan of health. I'm a huge fan of good quality. And we'll talk a little bit more about Ganoderma in a moment, but a study out of MIT, another clue that can enhance the brain longevity with Huntington's, and it has to do with a different opioid receptor. If we look at Ganoderma in the brain specifically, 74 different studies. It's good for that dopamine. It's good for serotonin, GABA, acetylcholine, even good for brain stem cells, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and is even anti-seizure. So it is phenomenally good for the brain. And I like to tell people my favorite way to get it is in gourmet coffee or tea. Why? Because I love gourmet coffee. I drink it every single day. I have for over 40 years. But keep in mind, that's what the world does, to the tune of 2.5 billion cups a day. So imagine having the top quality, top superfood with patented processes infused in things that you do every single day. So I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski. All things health, happiness, and success, knowing that we can be all the above. So follow me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook. I'd love to add value to your world. Enjoy this epic, beautiful, brain healthy, amazing day.